He had purchased some land in this area as early as 1777. So in 1780, when he got relocated, he came to this area right here because he knew exactly where he wanted to go. Now, he's my kind of guy. They said, we're going to give you a revolutionary land grant. Where do you want it? He said, I know exactly where I want it. I want it right at the end of the road. And that's what he got. Old Stage Road from Philadelphia made its way through Virginia, Blunkville, Kingsport, came down along the Holston, and it stopped at Big Creek right there. He said, I think we might put an interchange here. Thomas was an entrepreneur. He not only founded a community here, but he set up a dispatch to where people from this that would come through here would disperse and go throughout all of the West. He actually hired Daniel Boone and Eli Wallen to keep the trail open between here and Cumberland because he knew it was a trade route. So he hired them to make sure that the trail stayed open. But anyway, he had the blacksmith shop, forge foundry, he had a tannery, had a boot shop, and he had a store. The store's over there where that cedar arbor is over in the woods. There's a level spot there, and that's actually where the Old Stage Road came up right there. You can see the depression, and then it continued on, came up to the house, and it continued on the tree line on into Petersburg, and then eventually Rogersville after this area was settled. But anyway, he was quite an entrepreneur, and he was a statesman and a scholar. He was a self-taught lawyer and surveyor. First senator from Western North Carolina. This was Western North Carolina at that time. So he was quite a gentleman. I stand in awe of what he did and what he accomplished and the people that he knew. But anyway, that's Thomas A. Mead, the man, and the property. And I am so blessed to be the caretaker of this. All things were created by him and for him, and by him they consist. We're just passing through. We're caretakers, and we are so grateful to be it. Thank you.
In 1790, in the spring of the year, in April and May, Asbury and Whatcoat came here 4 times. And we are celebrating that, memorializing that, dedicating this house, not because Asbury slept here. Well, he slept at a lot of places. But because he was on a critical mission on the frontier. There had been for a few years, maybe 10, lay preachers working in Kentucky. But there were no ordained preachers there. There was no formal organization there. Asbury was anxious, most anxious to get into Kentucky, but it was dangerous to go there because of Native Americans who were feeling the pressure of increased white settlement, and because of highwaymen and thieves and robbers who lurked about the Wilderness Road. So the first 3 visits Asbury made here was to make arrangements to connect with some of the people coming down from Kentucky to help him, to gather some other forces to help him with the journey. Finally, they got it all together, and 16 men went armed with 13 guns. Asbury himself went armed, we think, because at the National Archives in New Jersey we have a powder horn with the name Francis Asbury carved in it, very primitively, and the date May the 1st, 1790, the very month that he was here. They made a successful journey into Kentucky. They collected monies to start a college there. They organized their circuits. They ordained a whole bunch of preachers to do the work and administer the sacraments across Kentucky. That's why we're remembering this place, a way station on the Methodist frontier, on the expanding frontier of the church. A whole lot has been said about some of the exchanges that Bishop Asbury and Captain Amee made. You see that in the insert in your bulletin, the 4 quotations that are taken directly from Francis Asbury's journal. He called Amee a poor sinner, highly offended by the loud prayers. Asbury had seen the ill effects of liquor all across Virginia and North Carolina and South Carolina and places in Maryland. He knew what a curse it could be upon humanity. He was unremitting in his criticism of it. He had seen the horrors of slavery up close, and he was offended by that everywhere he found it, and he didn't mind speaking his piece about it. But he came back. Don't ever forget that after their sharp exchanges, after these 2 strong men freely expressed themselves, he came back. He found hospitality here. He found the rest he needed here. He found the time and the space to make the strategic plans for his expanding mission.
The Holston Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church, in response to a petition from the Commission on Archives and History, has designated the Thomas Amee House as an official historic site. This action has been confirmed by its registration with the General Commission on Archives and History of the United Methodist Church. Therefore, my friends, we joyfully recognize the Thomas Amee House as Historic Site number 498. We present and dedicate this plaque to commemorate this site and the people and events associated with it, and to identify it for future generations. Praise be to God. Amen.
The accommodations are wonderful. That's why I keep coming back. Mr. Amee and I have a tendency to have some heated discussions at times, but we are strong-minded people and come together. We are we are making some superintendents out of some ministers and spreading the gospel in this area for the United Methodists.
Oh. She's ready to go out and spread the word of God, huh?
She's ready to go spread something.